I just want to go home. We have all been in a situation when we felt tired or uncomfortable and thought or uttered some version of the phrase, I want to go home. At our core, we know that the idea of home makes us feel safe and comfortable and gives us a sense of well-being. Home doesn't necessarily mean house. Saying is home sweet home, not house safe house or residence comfortable residence. But home for some of us can become risky, especially if the world around us begins to change and becomes more hazardous. For example, as our lives progress and as we age, we can become more vulnerable to risks. I remember early in my design career when I was hired by a woman who'd made the difficult choice to place her mom in a continuing care facility for her own health and safety. She was very conflicted by the decision, but the level of around-the-clock care her mom needed had extended beyond her capabilities to provide. To soften the shock, she hired me to renovate the interior of her mom's, we'll call her Anna, new living environment. Before I began redesigning this small space, which was around the size of a large primary bedroom, I met with Anna one-on-one to learn what was important to her regarding the design of her new home. At one point in our conversation, Anna became very emotional and said, I never believed that this could happen to me. I know that my daughter loves me, but I feel as though I've lost control over my own life and I've been sent here to die. It was clear that Anna just wanted to go home. Given that this was a space in an already constructed long-term care facility, there was nothing we could do to change the room's size or structure. However, in redesigning the space, we installed some residential feeling but ergonomic toggle switch table lamps to soften the lighting in the room. We changed the wall color to a dusty rose. Anna loved her pink. Anna's daughter was willing to splurge for automatic control window blinds, which had a remote control that her mom could operate anywhere she was in the room. We hung artwork and we reframed curated family photos. We also installed a new compact recliner upholstered in a floral healthcare-grade fabric that Anna had selected, which had good sturdy arms to allow her to get in and out of the chair with greater ease. I remember going to one final post-installation review meeting after the redesign had been completed to meet with Anna to ensure that all outstanding items had been addressed. When I walked into the room, this same person who seemed so sad and frail before we started the project was sitting in her new recliner, surrounded by a couple of new friends she had made, holding court and looking like a completely different person. Her complexion even seemed brighter, although the pink decor and improved lighting probably had something to do with that. Anna's circumstances had not changed whatsoever. She was in the same location and the size of her room had not been altered. However, the resources designed into her new living environment to support her physical, mental, and emotional well-being had changed drastically. I don't know if Anna lived any longer than she would have had her space not been redesigned to more fully support her needs and allow her to recover from the shock of moving to a continuing care facility. But I know for a fact that she lived better. This was one of my first experiences as an interior designer that showed me firsthand the power that designing for resilience has on human well-being. This approach affirmed to me that resilient interior design is not a singular concept, but rather a composite of design system elements, each tailored to serve its own specific purpose. Now, there's often a misunderstanding of what interior design is. It is more than just making spaces look pretty. Interior design truly is a combination of art and science and considers the relationship of design elements, their long-term impact on both local and global environments, and their effect on human health and well-being. Interior decorating and interior design are also not the same thing. The respective relationship between these two activities is a little like the relationship between the action of frosting a cake versus the process of developing a new cake recipe, baking it, assembling its layers so they remain upright for, however long you're using the cake, and then frosting it. So clearly there's some overlap between these two procedures. Plus, who doesn't love frosting? It can facilitate a metamorphosis of almost any muffin into a cupcake. However, it's critical to understand that interior design requires a much more comprehensive knowledge of building and material sciences and human factors than interior decorating. Throughout my career as an interior designer, I've been intrigued by the elements of certain spaces that appear to reduce human anxiety and enhance well-being, even during times of stress. This concept of cultivating both psychological and physical resilience in interior spaces drove me to better understand how we created. This compelled me to pursue a Master of Science in Psychology and a Systems Science and Engineering doctorate. My job title is Assistant Professor of Interior Design and Research Faculty with the Florida Institute for Built Environment Resilience, or as we refer to it, FIBRE, at the University of Florida within the College of Design, Construction, and Planning. And my research focuses on how the design of our living environments impacts our health and well-being. A living environment, by definition, is an assembly of natural and built elements primarily created to provide protection and support for its inhabitants. And the design of our built living environments draws on a broad spectrum of perspectives and approaches. For example, urban planning shapes the design ideal of our external world and is how we wish to see our communities. Architecture is our collective design statement to the external world and is how we aspire our communities to see us. Interior design is where planning becomes personal. It's where the design of our built living environments reflect who we are as individuals and how we wish to view ourselves. Throughout my years of research, I have discovered that the relationship between resilience and the design of our living environments is a little like the relationship between time and a clock. They are both abstract principles that are manifested through the dynamic interaction of interconnected system elements. For example, let's take a look at the inner workings of a mechanical clock. It contains explicitly designed elements that work in an interconnected way to support its primary function of telling time. The elements are kept in motion through applied continuous energy to run the mechanism. If one of the components ceases to function properly, or if energy is reduced, it can reduce the functionality of the clock. The same is true for design for interior environments meant to support resilience. Resilience is an abstract concept that is manifested through interconnected system elements, which requires continuous energy to be maintained in the living environments we call home. Design for resilience, especially for our living environments, considers the human experience and ecological impact of design choices at every stage of the planning process. This is critical because although our living environments can be a great source of security and solace, aspects of their design can also be a source of risk. For example, interior design failures can significantly diminish human health and well-being across all age groups. Environmental elements such as inadequate lighting and unsuitable flooring can contribute to multiple home accidents like falls. These can result in severe injuries and in older adults transitions to long-term care facilities. Poor interior environmental quality caused by inadequate interior ventilation or suboptimal material performance can contribute to mold growth and allergen accumulation inside homes and has been associated with increased poor respiratory health. Furthermore, interior materials that don't meet environmental sustainability standards can release volatile organic compounds or toxins, leading to short-term illnesses and, in certain cases, serious long-term health issues. Lastly, indoor noise pollution has been linked to poor student academic performance and adverse mental health outcomes in the general population. Fortunately, all of these issues are fixable. We can address these potential risks by examining design elements like lighting, acoustics, and materials, and understand how they work together to reliably support human safety and overall experience. Imagine if we could approach the design of our living environments like engineering a machine meant to measurably improve our health and well-being. Resilient design leverages an integrated network of discrete components that each contribute to overall environmental performance. What if we could leverage the power of system science to design our living environments to protect us from environmental risks and adaptively nurture our health? I define interior resilience through the lens of my academic and professional training. The psychological interpretation of resilience refers to an individual's behavioral attributes and qualities that allow them to thrive in the face of adversity and unanticipated circumstances. The systems engineering definition of resilience is how a system's elements maintain operational efficiency during expected and unexpected hazards and then evolve to an improved state of function. Throughout my years of study, I have realized that the psychological and engineering perspectives of resilience can basically merge through a comprehensive system of 5 interconnected design principles. These 5 principles, safety, support, sustainability, symbiosis, and salutogenesis, are the 5 S of interior resilience. Together, they form a framework for creating spaces that are resilient, nurturing, environmentally conscious, and truly serve both people and planet. So design for safety in interior environments is critical, with robust spaces that can withstand both external and internal challenges. And the idea of support is manifested through flexible spatial configurations and universal design, ensuring adaptability to diverse needs. Sustainability is woven into the fabric of design, adhering to a minimum of maximum principle that balances resource efficiency with long-term well-being, even in the face of unknown risk. And the symbiotic aspect emphasizes interior design's responsiveness to regional conditions like temperature, daylighting, and air quality, fostering a harmonious relationship between the built environment and its natural surroundings. Finally, salutogenesis integrates design that creates a sense of coherence and connectivity, supporting our holistic health and recognizing the profound impact that nature has on mental and physical well-being. Research suggests that integrating these 5S principles into the design of the living environments we call home can yield significant benefits to human health and well-being. This includes reducing the incidence of chronic diseases, alleviating anxiety and stress-related depression, and enhancing cognitive function across all age groups from children to adults. As designers, we often consider how people will interact with and feel in indoor spaces. We use systems thinking to guide our design decision-making and to understand the cause and effect relationship between human behavior and the built environment. So let's consider something simple, like a living room, to explore the design dynamics of these 5S principles on interior resilience. In this space, adequate lighting, safe flooring, non-irritating and non-toxic finishes, and comfortable furniture all contribute to our safety and sense of support. However, for these elements to be truly effective in the long term, they must be symbiotic. In other words, work in harmony with their natural and built surroundings. This balance is critical for maintaining our well-being and the environment's sustainability. All of these elements work together to support our holistic health, or salutogenesis, which in turn improves the effectiveness of each other design principle, just like they did in Anna's redesigned living environment. In systems science, we call the model of these relationships reinforcing causal loops. And you can see how the interaction of these design principles that allow us to visualize the abstract concept of interior resilience kind of resemble the way the gears of a clock work to allow us to see the abstract concept of time. We also see evidence of these principles of interior resilience used by nature's designers. Nature's master builders, silkworms, demonstrate remarkable ingenuity in constructing their cocoon to support their metamorphosis. These tiny designers create a multi-layered structure that exemplifies several of these 5S principles. The cocoon's innermost layer, which is called the pelade, showcases nature's version of advanced protective technology. And this layer comprises fine, tightly woven silk fibers that form a robust barrier, shielding the vulnerable silkworm from external threats. This natural design brilliantly illustrates how materiality can contribute to safe, supportive, and sustainable relationships with the outside environment. Beyond protection, the cocoon's interior is a natural climate control system. It maintains a stable internal temperature despite fluctuations from the outside environment, whether from a sudden heat wave or a cold snap. This thermal regulation feature ensures the developing silkworm stays comfortable and healthy, illustrating how nature integrates symbiotic and salutogenic design. These remarkable characteristics of silkworm cocoons offer valuable insights to human designers seeking to create more secure, responsive, comfortable, and environmentally harmonious spaces. We can develop more resilient solutions for our interior environments by mimicking the strategies of nature's innovative designers. Currently, our world is facing unprecedented challenges: aging populations, escalating environmental hazards, and widening economic disparities. When the wicked problems that surround us appear to be unsolvable, our true protection lies in well-designed systems that have consistently demonstrated resilience. Humans excel at designing systems and then identifying areas for their improvement. Our communities and global future require us to be strategic and intelligent about the way we address complex challenges in environmental design. Starting is important. If we want to create healthier communities, protect and support our young people and children, and ensure that we can all age safely and happily at home, we must design living environments that are more adaptive and responsive. First, we must recognize that our living environments are critical in fostering flourishing communities. The images on this slide show the before and after results of a Restore, Repair, and Resilience, or R3, Jacksonville, Florida project. R3 is a collaborative housing revitalization and research effort that Fiber is engaged in with our Jacksonville community partners in the city's historic East Side neighborhood. The research aspect of this effort explores how much building resilience repertoires and adopting proactive design solutions contribute to living environments that support health, happiness, and well-being for individuals regardless of their circumstances. Second, we must embrace the complexity of designing for interior resilience. This is about adopting a suite of design strategies that adapt to changing needs and engaging with our environments in new ways. It's about understanding that our interior spaces are connected to our external environments, which connects us all, and will allow us to create living environments that not only withstand challenges, but actually thrive in the face of them. Finally, and most importantly, we must focus on the fixable. Improving universal interior resilience is an achievable goal that offers significant returns on investment. It's also easier and more cost-effective than addressing many of the other issues that impact human health and well-being. By making intentional design improvements into people's living environments, we can make a tangible difference in their lives. Interior resilience is complex, but it doesn't need to be complicated. Data suggests that we spend about 90% of our time in interior environments. That equates to about 21 hours a day. If we want our living environments that we spend so much time in to be more resilient, we need to invest in thoughtful, enduring design that prioritizes quality, comfort, and natural beauty with attention to design detail that meets both current and future needs. By leveraging the 5 S of interior resilience, we can facilitate a metamorphosis of our living environments, transforming them into healthier and happier places to call home. Thank you.